Grow Great is a city government leadership podcast with Lisa Norris and me, Randy Cantrell. Each week we share insights, experiences, and wisdom to help you and your leadership grow great. Our website is growgreat.com. Okay, tomorrow's a big day for me, Lisa. Well, it's really not a big day for me, but I guess based on the calendar, it's a big day. So tomorrow's my birthday.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I'm 60.
I don't have it down.
I'll be 60. I'll be 67.
Oh,
Rhonda,
young chicken.
yeah. So Rhonda, my wife of 46 years, is telling some some friends yesterday. Said, yeah, on Tuesday he'll be 76. And I said, what? I'm sorry, what? It was what? I'll be how old? And she
Have I miscounted all these
she
years?
looked at me like I'd grown 3 heads, and she said, I said, I'm not going to be 76. I mean, am I? I mean, have I missed nearly a decade? What's the deal here? So, yeah. People I think enjoy it when we kind of pull the curtain back. So I thought, well, okay, let's talk about this, because I get asked this. I get asked this over and over, especially by people in their 40s and 50s, and I'm like, let me tell you, by the time you get to be my age, you've got way more questions than answers. And that's not, I'm not being self-deprecating. It's just absolutely positively true. You know, if you're pursuing things as people like you and me are, yes, you learn things for sure. You have experiences and you have insights that you didn't have before, but it's like, okay, I figured out how to unlock this door of the matrix, and you open the door only to realize, well, wait, here's 100 more doors that are locked. I hadn't. That's the feeling. So I don't know. I wanted to fall on my sword and tell you guys, yes, no, I was officially old a long time ago, but I'm really old. Now here's the good news. Well, it could be. My father's 100, and other than the loss of my mom, a few months ago, he's doing fine. And I tell Rhonda all the time, I'm like, I don't want to live to be 100. I don't, 67. I don't feel old, except,
You've
sometimes.
got 33 more years ahead of you.
Yeah, that's what somebody said. They're like, okay, well, to catch your dad. And I'm like, oh, that just seems impossible.
It seems like a whole nother lifetime, huh?
Yeah, but who among us doesn't, how different do you feel really from the time that you were, I don't know, in high school or something? You don't feel any different.
I don't even feel, I told Donna, even on my birthday, a lot of people get bothered by birthdays.
Yeah,
I do not get bothered because I feel young in my soul.
Yeah.
I was saying I'm going to be, I think 57. I have to count back. I'm going to be 57 in January. I told Donna, I said, that sounds like that's close to 60. And I feel like I'm in my 40s.
Which is ancient. Yeah.
Well, according to Lila, my 4-year-old granddaughter. When
you're
Chris
a dinosaur.
Chris or Brandon were, and I said, how old do you think so-and-so is? And they were like in their 30s. And she's like, I don't know, 28. And I said, is that old? And she goes, yes, Lily, that's really old. And I said, well, I'm 56. And she goes, oh, Lily. Like, oh gosh, you're so close to death now.
Yeah.
But it was just the way she looked at me, and she patted my shoulder and she said, oh, Lily.
Yeah, you're circling the drain.
So I want you to tell a story if we're pulling back the curtains, because first I want to know if you're doing something fun for dinner, but I want you to tell the story about the okra with Rhonda. In case you have a birthday choice tomorrow, then I'm curious of how it's going to go.
Of course, Lisa and I,
we were laughing to tears when you told me this the other day.
Lisa and I are fairly embedded in one another's lives because of all this work and stuff. And it's just it's humorous. If you've been married as long as we've been married, and even as long as Lisa and Don, come on, she's got her quirks. I've got my quirks. Don's got his quirks. My wife, Rhonda, has her quirks. You just learn to adapt, and you kind of go with the flow. So it's that stereotypical conversation that every married couple has of, we're going to go out to eat. Okay, well, where do you want to go? And now it's just this avalanche of indecision, right? It's just like, I don't know. What do you want? And people start rattling off. I mean, you and Don, you said y'all have done it. You start rattling off. Yeah, I don't
Mine
care.
Mine go a little different than yours
Yeah,
did,
I don't care. And Don brings up Mexican food. No, I don't really want Mexican food. And Don brings up something else. No, I really don't want that. So I don't know. For some reason, Rhonda made the inquiry, and I said, you know what I'm craving? I'm craving fried okra. And immediately she says, what about panda? And I'm thinking, and immediately I'm realizing, number one, she's not listening to me. Big shock, that. No, and I may talk too much there, so there is that. So I'll give her credit for not listening. But I'm sitting here and I'm thinking panda, and
that's real close to fried okra.
In the snark, I love snarkiness, and I know not everybody appreciates sarcasm, but if you took sarcasm out of my life, you might as well just kill me. I mean, I've got to embrace sarcasm. So the first thought was, well, I didn't know panda had okra, but thankfully I didn't.
You had a filter between your brain and your mouth?
I did have a filter between my brain and my mouth, so I just appropriately said, yeah, that'll be fine. And to this day, I don't think she has a clue about. I promise you, she has.
She listened to our show.
Well, we'll find out.
She may have a clue now.
Yeah, we'll find out. She may not. I don't know, but we'll find out. Yeah, she never picked up on it, and I never brought it to her attention. Well, so I'm talking about her behind her back for sure.
Yeah, Don is so flexible, but it is funny because we've had those conversations. So first, he'll ask where you want to eat, and I said, "Oh, I don't really care. You choose." And this doesn't happen as much anymore, but it used to, and that's where he'd go. Well, how about Chicken Express? No, I don't feel like Chicken Express. Well, how about Burger King? No, I don't like that.
You can tell that we're purveyors of fine dining.
Yeah, and so and he's like, Express. Back to my original question: where would you like to go to dinner? I said, babe, I'm serious. I don't really care. And he goes, really? I think you do. And it's just like, okay, how about we do Mexican? And he's like, okay. So now it's just like, I'll go, babe, where do you want to go for dinner? He goes, pick somewhere. I really don't care. He just lets me pick now.
Yeah.
And then when we're traveling, it's funny because I didn't know I did this, but when we're traveling, if I start getting hungry, like if we're going to Tennessee or Florida,
yeah,
I'll go, oh, babe, look, there's a Chili's. Hey, babe, did you see that? We just passed a Whataburger. They have lots of restaurants around here. Ooh, look, they have a Black Eyed Pea. Yeah. And he's like, babe, are you hungry?
Yeah.
But I did, and I was like, why? What? And he goes, you're naming every restaurant. You want me to stop somewhere and get you some food?
Yeah, well, see, in time, he won't do that. In time, he'll do what I've learned to do. In time,
just pull over.
Yeah, he'll say, "Well, okay, here, I'll exit and turn around." And Rhonda will either agree to that, which usually she won't if we're on a road trip.
Yeah.
No, next one will be fine. I said, okay, well, I don't know, whatever the Chili's.
Yeah.
Okay, Chili's. The next Chili's. Plug that into your GPS. Find me the next Chili's. I just jump straight to it. No, I don't want to.
Well, you've got 10 years on us. We got. We're still perfecting, Randy.
And that's a big 10 years too. Let me tell you. Well, y'all been empty nesters how long now?
Let's see. Probably, I'd have to think back because Haley's 32, so. What is that? 10 years at least. I mean, between college and coming back and forth, and they all got married. So
10, 12 years.
It's just kind of starting over though, because now it's grandkids. So you're just starting over with a different generation of doing things.
Yeah.
They're just now, our oldest is 5, the youngest is 2. Yeah. So the 4 and 5-year-olds are just starting to get engaged. Wesson is just getting in. I can't remember if they said he's doing baseball or soccer. But just starting activities, and I think it was baseball because Don went down to watch him.
But the difference in being empty nesters for 10 or 12 years is different than being empty nesters for twice that long.
Yeah.
Which is why I tell them come on, we're not a marriage counseling podcast, but I'll give you this pearl of wisdom for those married couples that are out there listening to us. Number one, it's worth the work. Everything is hard till it's easy. And some
And
aspects
embrace hard.
yeah,
Remember?
some aspects of it do get easier, but some aspects of it will always remain hard because it's you're two humans. But there's a reason that you should really lean hard, especially if you have kids, that you should lean hard into your relationship with each other because there's coming a day at the very front end of your marriage. So Rhonda and I had been married for by the time we had been married 4 years, we had both kids.
Yeah.
So we had a full year and a half before kids, and then the first one, and so and I think I wouldn't go back and change any of that. It was great. It was great being young parents. Okay, I didn't have all the wisdom in the world. I might not have been as good a father. I'm a way better grandfather than I probably was a father, but I think that's just age and wisdom and experience and insights But Ron and I have this conversation. The years that we've had as an older couple, I mean, there's just no comparison. You know, a year and a half as a couple without kids, and now over 25, probably closer to 30 without kids. I mean, you better build a life together some way, somehow, is all I got to say, if you want to make a go of it.
We did this. We told our kids the same thing now. And back in the day, you know, we had so many people, Randy, very similar path to you, except we didn't have both of them. So we were married in the fall of 88, had Haley, who's our oldest, in 92, spring of 92. And Dawn was gone for 15 months of that in Korea, deployed. So when we got back very young, you know, we were engaged at 19, married at 20. And then we had Haley in, what is that, about 23, 24 between the two of us. Our ages are a little bit, about 6 months spread. But anyway, and then we had immediately 2 years later had Donnie, and then Brandon was our youngest a year after that. So we had within 7 years, all three. Mm-hmm. So kind of similar.
Yeah.
But what was interesting, like you said, Don was the one who made it a point that we would always date. Mm-hmm. You know, he always made time for a date night, even and it sounds silly. We didn't have much money at all. He was military for part of that, and I was a student for part of that. And then, you know, entry-level jobs like many people today. Yeah. But he always made a point he said, we're going to go on a date, even if it's to Walmart without kids. Like we'd have my mom watch them. Mm-hmm. And it's just time, because that's when the time you get to catch up.
Yeah.
And we have made a point. I mean, even if we couldn't afford it, he'd cook dinner. He would send the kids to mom. You know,
you don't need money. You don't need money to do it. Yeah.
No, we would just go do something. And now we're trying to do that with our kids. We've told Haley, who has 2, and Brandon, who has 2, and told them the same thing. We said, you need to date.
Yeah.
You don't ever lose
Plus,
sight
it gives y'all an
each
excuse
other.
to watch the kids.
That's right. That's true.
Yeah.
But it's so important to focus on each other. You're right. When that day comes, how many of your friends have you seen, Randy, that don't have anything to talk about? They just have lost sight of each other because all the focus was on raising the kids and what the kids need and what the kids are doing.
Yeah.
And you lose the interest of your partner and what they actually need to keep it sparked and keep it fun and relevant. And it was funny as we had that, because you mentioned empty nest. We had so many people going, oh my goodness, you're going to be an empty nester. Are you worried? I went, nope, looking forward to it. You know what I mean? And it was,
we were so
eager to spend time together.
Yeah.
And to the point that when Haley left, our oldest, for college, I said, yeah, I'm changing your room to I think we're going to change it to a baby room so we can get ready when we have and she goes, where am I going to come when I come home from college? I said, are you going to come home and visit? And she was like, yes, Mom.
Yeah. But you're going to stay with us?
Yeah. I said, don't you have friends? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. But we started changing up the rooms, and I would paint and redo the rooms and make it into a guest room. And they're like,
totally offended.
I see you love us. And I was like, guys, come on. It's been in 19 years. You know?
Yeah.
So anyway, the kids all laughed at us, and they're like, well, I guess we see where we stand on the totem pole. I said, I just want to make sure you know that you need to get a job and move out and be a responsible adult. That's what we've raised you to be.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. We don't want these boomerang kids.
Yeah.
Well, and there is a leadership component. I mean, come on, let's at least we'll give our audience a tidbit. It's still relationship building. It still is enough interest in the other person. It still is, as Lisa and I define leadership, it still is influence. It still is a focus on others and doing for others what they may not be able to do for themselves. It doesn't mean that we're married to incompetent people. It doesn't mean that we're surrounded by. It's just there are moments that Rhonda can do for me what I can't do because she can see it. She sees something. She notices something that I don't notice. I noticed she said I would be 76. I made that correction. I did for her in that moment what she could not do for herself because she didn't know she had said that. So,
or she just thinks you're really older looking than you are, Randy.
Well,
and she's lost sight.
I'm just, well, she is battling cataracts. So we're both.
That is so funny.
We're
76.
Both, so we're both getting older, but.
Okay, so I have a question on your birthday.
Yep.
Do you have? And I always ask this even of my team because I like to get to know people, and we haven't talked about it.
Yeah.
Do you do something traditional?
No.
Do you go to the same place for your birthday? Do you pick somewhere? Do you make dinner, or do y'all just decide each year?
And we just roll with the punches, every year. So my son-in-law and two grandsons, we're going to go out to eat. We're going to go out to eat with them.
Okay.
And yes, I'm paying because I invited them, and we're going to go eat Italian food.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, we already planned it. We planned it about a week ago. I normally don't do that. I will tell you that more years than not, don't do anything. Just don't. I mean, and I'm not being a fuddy-duddy. I don't know. When you're a kid, it matters. And I'm like you. I don't get caught up. It's a number. I'm not embarrassed by the number. I'm not. I mean, it is what it is. I'm glad to be another year older. I mean, there's still things that I want to accomplish, and I'm still just as driven as I was. I don't feel that. I don't feel that old.
So do they do birthday? The grandkids do birthday stuff for you? How old are your grandkids again for our listeners? And for
the oldest is 16 and the youngest is 8, and there's 5 of them, and they're all 2 years apart. Okay. So go down from 13 to 8 and you got them all.
So do they typically do something? What's your granddad name? Is it Grandpa? Is it Papa?
It's Papa.
Papa. Okay.
Papa. And no, I mean, they'll give me a card, but no, we don't do it. There's no big to do, and that probably is largely different by my personality. I mean, I hate being the center of attention. I just don't need attention. I don't want attention. I don't need it. I don't crave it. I'm rather put off by it. See, I'm a guy that I'm a really good. I told somebody the other day at lunch. I'm a really good spotlight holder. I
shine it on others.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to be the guy operating the spotlight here, or be the sound guy, who's holding the mic boom out so somebody else can. I'm completely comfortable, and I'm not being self-deprecating. I'm real comfortable in that. Rhonda one year did throw a surprise party, and I threatened her with her life, and I said, "Don't you ever do that to me again." And she hasn't. So I'm like, because I hate it. I hate it. I do not want to spend it. No offense to acquaintances or friends. Not my thing. I mean,
Interesting.
Rhonda and just there's 10 of us in our tribe.
Uh-huh.
And 5, there's 5 adults and there's 5 kids. That's my tribe.
Yeah.
And if that tribe was in the room, I'd be perfectly comfortable. But if you added an 11th, I ain't comfortable. Get that 11th person out of here. They don't. I mean, they're horning in on our parade here.
Yeah.
So no, there's no big traditions. Nothing like that. My expectations are very low, just because that's comfortable. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
happy birthday early, Randy.
Yeah,
I'm glad I knew about it, and I'm glad we did a show on it. I've got it on my calendar now, so now it's a known source.
Yeah, and by the time this airs, all the hoopla will have been long past, and the dust will have settled, and the smoke will have cleared. And
well, you'll need to release this. You need to release this one the Wednesday closest to your birthday.
You think?
Yeah, because it's relevant, and the listeners will want to know, won't you, listeners?
Yeah, yeah.
They want to send you, even if it's belated by a day.
Yeah,
because you said it's going to be. You said tomorrow, which would be
May
Tuesday,
7th.
May 7th.
May 7th, 1957. 57
That's a
was
good week of birthdays. You know, Don's the 10th.
Yep.
And my son-in-law Brian is the 9th. So now I can remember because it's the same week.
Yeah. Yeah. A bunch
That's
of
a good week of men being born.
Yeah, a bunch of Taurus people, for those of you that are into such things. I don't know if there's any validity. There is no validity in any of that, but it's kind of funny. But yeah. So
well, happy birthday.
There's that.
Yeah.
So go out and make it a good week and act like it's your birthday. I guess that's the takeaway.
Thanks for watching and listening to Grow Great, a city government leadership podcast. For Lisa Norris, I'm Randy Cantrell. Be well, do good, grow great. The website is growgreat.com.